I'm going to just sort of dispense with the formalities. I have so many friends in the audience, and the governor's not the only elected official here, so everybody just consider yourselves greeted. I was not asked to open this relatively brief ceremony because I am the most expert person on this stage in the field of high fashion. In fact, many of you know that by some accounts, I never had a tie worth wearing until I'd been president 3.5 years. But I am something of an expert on Oscar de la Renta and his wonderful wife. And this is what I want you to know. First of all, he has been a faithful son of his native Dominican Republic, and we have spent enormous amounts of time with him there. He has used his success to invest, among other things, in an orphanage that has given a very large number of children, including his own adopted son, a new lease on life. Second, he has been a truly devoted friend when you're up and when you're not. And unlike some people, he seems to become more ardent in his friendship when you're down than when you're up. Third, he's an even more competitive card player than I am. Which has given me and Chelsea and Hillary an untold number of opportunities to make fun of him. Finally, I want to thank him for agreeing to do this. The work that he has done and his friendship have both brought joy into the lives of the other people in our small family. I never got to wear one of his dresses. But I have, every day for many years, worn the mantle of his friendship with genuine pride. So we are here tonight to honor not just an incredibly gifted and a wildly successful, but also a very good man. Thank you very much.
Oh, goodness. Well, as your daughter, Dad, I'm grateful you never wore one of Oscar's dresses. And also, as your daughter, I feel it is incumbent on me to slightly amend what you said about Oscar being even more competitive than you. I think although you may be in a race for the most competitive, it is slightly disingenuous to claim that anyone is more competitive than you in anything. Much of what I want to say briefly will echo what my father said. My husband, Mark, and I could not imagine our lives without Oscar and Annette. So many of our most joyous moments have been shared with both of them and made all the more joyful and filled with so much more laughter than they otherwise would have been because of both of them. And one of the things that I have always most admired about Oscar, someone I have known for 2/3 of my life, is that he's always more interested in the future than the past. I think that's one of the things that intuitively our families have always had common cause about, that the present is only so interesting and inspiring because of what raw materials it provides us, whether those are ideas or the fabric of a dress to create something new and innovative. And although I have known Oscar for a long time and loved him and Annette for almost as long, and as much as I am grateful that I do get to wear his dresses, like my father, I am hardly an authority on all that he has given to American fashion. And thankfully there is someone here with us this evening who is. As you'll see in the exhibit later, Oscar had his first piece in Vogue more than 50 years ago. which is a remarkable testament to his longevity in creating the future. And he shares with Anna Wintour not only a collaborative relationship stretching decades, and not only that they're both Lifetime Achievement Award winners from the Council for Fair, the CFDA, she's gonna have to tell us what that stands for. They share their commitment to ensuring that fashion is not only beautiful, but also accessible, not only something that an ingenue can wear, but something that any of us can take pleasure and pride in. It's something that I admire Oscar for, it's something I admire Anna for, it's something I'm grateful to both of them for, and I'm grateful for Vogue's longstanding support of someone that I too, like my father, am grateful that Mark and I can call our friend. So someone who is here to talk to us about her friend, Oscar de la Renta, who certainly is an authority on fashion, is Anna Wintour. Please join me in welcoming her to the podium.
Well, thank you so much, Chelsea. I'm not a Clinton, so I need notes. It's my great pleasure to say a few words about Oscar to you this evening. Looking at Oscar's exceptional body of work, one is reminded that fashion, for better or for worse, is devoted to the notion that life can be sunny and glamorous around the clock. Who can look at his fabulously ruffled flamenco dresses without imagining a tropical fiesta by the pool? Who can slip on one of his fur-trimmed, well, maybe not in Arkansas, suits without fantasizing about hurrying across the Tuileries to a mysterious romantic assignation? But what's so wonderful about Oscar is that he actually embodies the fantastic world suggested by his fashions. He is a philanthropist of the first order, a society dazzler, a patron of the arts, and a diplomat, as well as a demon card player, a delicious gossip, a devoted family man, and a great, great designer. I've always regarded him as fashion's Renaissance man. Oscar is a man of profound humanity who demonstrates grace under adversity and who supports those in need without hesitation. There's nothing minimal about my dear friend Oscar. His clothes, his generosity, his parenting, his passion for life. He is one of those rare, exhilarating figures who throw the world into relief in a way that makes perfect moral and aesthetic sense. And of course, it would be impossible to talk about Oscar without mentioning Annette, his incredible wife. She is the dazzling and dynamic force that inspires and encourages him in all that he does. We are so incredibly lucky to have him and her. And when you look at the beautiful clothes in the exhibition upstairs, I urge you to remember there's a reason they're so gorgeous. They are the perfect reflection of the man who made them. So Oscar's well known for dressing first ladies, and none more than Secretary Hillary Clinton, a woman that I have long admired and who has clearly long admired Oscar. It makes sense that the two feel a connection. They are both incredibly warm, deeply curious about the world and its inhabitants, and truly understand the power of clothes to convey the right message. That Hillary chose Oscar's sparkling gold, lace gold dress for President Clinton's second inauguration in 1997 is not surprising. When she appeared on the cover of Vogue a year later, she radiated poise and intelligence in his burgundy velvet dress. And when she wore Oscar's daring magenta mother of the bride gown for what must have been the most special day of her life, the wedding day of her daughter, we got some indication of not only how fantastic she must feel in Oscar's clothes, but also how loyal she has remained to her friends since leaving the White House. Throughout the last decade, as Hillary ran for senator, then president, and then circled the world several times as the most traveled and indefatigable Secretary of State in history, a more practical wardrobe became necessary. Throughout her tenure, she revealed herself to be the consummate diplomat, whether conducting behind-the-scenes negotiations, dancing the night away in South Africa, or being the first Secretary of State to visit war-torn Goma in the Congo. She always looked entirely appropriate wherever she was, and nearly always in Oscar. As anyone who has spent even a little time with Hillary knows, she is an inherently glamorous creature, one who loves fashion and decorating and design. So I can only imagine her delight at celebrating Oscar here tonight. It's anyone's guess what the next chapter will be for this extraordinary woman. I can only hope that all of you here in Little Rock will be celebrating her come November 2016. Just as all of us at Vogue look forward to putting on the cover the first female president of the United States. It's an honor to introduce the extraordinary Senator Hillary Clinton.
Oh my goodness. It is so exciting for us to be here, to see so many of our friends once again here at the library, and friends from around Arkansas and indeed from around our country. And for those of you who are visiting Little Rock for the first time, I want to welcome you and tell you you are in for a treat. And we are so pleased that you could join us. We are honored to have Oscar and Annette with us, along with their family, Alex and Eliza Bolin, and Philip and Thomas, who are here as well. I want to thank everyone who made this exhibit possible, including the very talented and creative Oscar team, and the dedicated and terrific staff at the Clinton Foundation and Library. They are the ones who really deserve a round of applause for doing this. When we first talked about putting together an exhibit honoring Oscar's life and work, I'm not sure any of us really understood what we were getting into, because it turns out that the art of creating a fashion exhibit is truly that. It is art. And if you haven't yet been up to see it, and I'm hoping everyone does before the night is over, you will see exactly what I mean. The dresses themselves are so wonderfully evocative. The story of Oscar's life is so inspiring. The location that has been created for this exhibit is just truly stunning. We know that just saying the name Oscar de la Renta is enough to evoke shimmering elegance and timeless beauty. We also, as you will see upstairs, know that Oscar has really treated first ladies such as myself and Nancy Reagan and Laura Bush with such great support. And sometimes, as Chelsea knows, he's even dressed our daughters. But I wanted to do this because it's not for me just about the clothes, although they are really spectacular. It's about what that means, the continuing effort to really be as good as you can be, whether it is in designing and creating a dress, or building a wall, or teaching a child. It is about excellence. It is about high standards. It is about what we should hold ourselves to no matter what we do in our lives. There is always the opportunity to think about more that can be done and the contribution each of us can make. So yes, Oscar has designed beautiful clothes, but he's also led a life that has inspired as well. And we have in our family been very grateful to him and to Annette for their friendship and hospitality. So we could not be more thrilled that the Clinton Library is hosting this exhibit, covering Oscar's life and work, from his youth in the Dominican Republic to his rise to the top of American fashion and to his adopted role of being a kind of American diplomat, if you will, as he has traveled around the world. I want to have you direct your attention now to that video where you will see a tribute to his achievements. And I want to thank Anna Wintour, Andre Leon Talley, Barbara Walters, Diane von Furstenberg, and of course, Oscar for helping to make this possible. And now please join me in welcoming Oscar.
Thank you so much. I am celebrating this year 50 years in this country. And it's no coincidence that these 50 years I am celebrating today at the Clinton Library, because what an extraordinary couple Bill and Hillary Clinton are. Not only that I feel so unbelievably privileged to consider myself their friend, but I hope that in saluting an extraordinary president that Bill Clinton was, we are saluting as well a great president that Secretary Clinton will be. You know, this has been an extraordinary ride. I came to this country 50 years ago, and I have been having sort of a wonderful time, you know. In trying to put this show together, the most difficult thing for me to do was that, in fact, we have no clothes. Because, you know, I never ever thought in collecting clothes, because I only believe that what is important is not what I did 10 years ago or 10 years ago or 20 years ago, but what I'm doing now. And you know, a lot of people ask me quite frequently now, when are you going to retire? And I answer, you know, every single day for me, there is a learning process. Every single day for me, there is something that I'm curious about. And the day that I will say, I have learned it all, then that day I should stop doing what I'm doing. For me, every single day, I'm learning something new. And it's all these extraordinary ladies who are telling me what I should be doing. But again, one more time, I want to say how unbelievably grateful I am to be here today, because it's a very, very special day. This is the very first time that anyone has done a retrospective of my work, and I am so unbelievably grateful for the generosity that the President and Hillary has offered to me. This is my very first visit to Little Rock, and I hope it's not going to be the last one. But what an extraordinary friends they have been, and how much they have been given to this country, and how much are they planning to give to this country. That's really extraordinary. So thank you both for really what you have done for me. And you know, Chelsea and Mark, whom I loved, I have problems with them, of course, because they are so much better players, so oh, hell I am. But nevertheless, it's that competitive that keeps me going. You know, I remember, in fact, when Anna Wintour put Hillary on the cover of Vogue magazine. And at one point, Anna called me on the telephone. I said, you know, I'm holding this cover. It's costing a lot of money to Vogue magazine to keep that cover open. And the White House doesn't tell us yes or no, but they have to make a decision because it's costing the magazine a lot of money to keep it as cover for a long, long time. And I was told that there was a meeting in the White House to discuss all the pros and cons. There have never been ever a first lady in the cover of a magazine. Hillary was in Chicago, you will not remember this. And I called Hillary and I said, Hillary, this is a Christmas issue. It's a very important issue because it's a family issue. This is your time to be in the cover of Vogue magazine. And Hillary answered back, and I'm so proud that she said that about me. Oscar have always had very good instincts about me, and he think that I should do it, so I'm going to do it. Thank you, Hillary. So I am overwhelmed as to the fact that my very first show, retrospective of my clothes, happened to be at this President Clinton library. Thank you so much all for being here.
Well, Oscar, on behalf of everyone here tonight, let me just once again say thank you for allowing us to display your extraordinary creations here at the Clinton Presidential Center. Thank you so much. I'd like to invite all of you now to continue enjoying your refreshments here in the Great Hall and the area outside the Great Hall. The entire Clinton Library is open for you to visit this evening. One thing I'd also like to point out, in the theater right outside the Great Hall, we have a wonderful exhibit on George Washington. We're so grateful to Alice Walton, who is also here with us tonight, for allowing us to display the Gilbert Stuart painting of George Washington as well. Thank you, Mrs. Walton. And finally, the exhibit you've all been waiting to see is on the third floor, Oscar de la Renta, American Icon. Thank you.